is I, the Good Brother, reporting to you live from Area 757 TV. And right beside me, I have the good sister, Lachelle, a.k.a. Jaded Illusions, back with me again.
Hello, community.
Yes, I told y'all be seeing this good sister again, So today we have a lot of things planned for y'all. We're going to get into, again, our countdown, where we are 90 days away from October 18th through the 20th, where they are supposed to be releasing more documents, giving us...
The big 9-0.
Yes, exactly. The great reveal. We are not alone, which we're going to get into that, because we're going to get into our post-disclosure questions that we would ask upon that date. Say if the president gave an address, whoever the president would be that disclosed that, and said we were alone. So I'm going to get into our disclosure questions later. I'm going to touch into that, but we are 90 days away, and we're going to keep counting down. And also, on top of that countdown, something that I love is this new UAP Disclosure Act 2.0, as we are calling it, where Chuck Schumer, and it's a bipartisan thing where they actually put forth more things to be released. I believe in this new 2.0 Disclosure Act, non-human intelligence is mentioned 22 times. I love the verbiage.
Yes.
Also, something else that was mentioned, they say non-human biological evidence is mentioned 6 times, Lachelle. So we're keeping
AKA not human.
Yes, exactly. So if we're keeping up on the terminologies that they're starting to introduce, things are getting serious, y'all. So we're keeping an eye on that date. Again, it's October 18th through the 20th, where they are supposed to be releasing. This is the great reveal to date. That's already in the NDAA, Natural Defense Authorization Act. And on top of that, they're pushing for more stuff with this UAP Disclosure 2.0. People are coming forward, more whistleblowers, yada, yada, yada. So I look forward to this stuff. So with that being said, let's get into our first thing, post-disclosure. So on this episode, and we are on episode 3, I want to play a little thought experience, Michelle, where say if the government, say the president, whoever it was, whether it be Trump, Biden, whoever, his replacement, came up and said, all right, we are not alone. We want to be honest. We want to do the right thing. The government, imagine that, them doing the right thing and being transparent. We're not alone. So we, as we say, we're members in the audience, we're part of the press. We get to ask them 3 questions, all right? You can do the why behind it or whatnot. And I'm going to actually go first. I'm going to set it up. So, say if they gave a big press release and said, we are not alone. My first question, post-disclosure question, would be, how long? How long have you known that we are not alone? I mean, was it, during the Eisenhower days back in 1954, where there was a parent meeting, allegedly then? Was it back in 1947, Roswell?
Right.
Apparently, one of the aliens, I believe, lived, one of the Evens or whatever. They think they gave him a name, J-Rod, or whatever. So I would want to know how long because again, my biggest thing, y'all, they've been lying to us since 1947. Roswell did happen. And again, it ain't the old lies that upset me. It's the new lies. 2024. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what's really going to be. But I would just want to know, how long has the great lie been going? And whoever is the president, they can't be held accountable for the old lies. But, certain people were in office that were, getting these briefings that knew. So it'll be kind of tricky if they were the disclosure president, but that's a later episode. So that would be my first question. So that, would you say, well, how do you feel about that?
They say that there was another crash landing in 1945 before 1947.
Oh, yep, I've heard of that. Yep, New Mexico. Yep, New Mexico. Yep, you are correct.
I think your question is very valid.
Yeah.
I think that this would need, I think, Native Americans, like the people who are on the lands that, how can I say this? Those who were here first before it was colonized. Yeah, okay. Excuse me, and we get their take, because they will know, because it's on their drawings on the mountains, in the land. And I think that we should be consulting them.
Yeah, I agree.
To find out. And I think there's really no true answer to that, honestly, because with the government, there's so many hands in the pot. People are coming in and going and things like that. So I think it's a valid question. I don't think it's something that we will really find out.
Yep. Oh, a lot of this stuff we won't find out. We'll ask questions, because I think, honestly, when disclosure happens, it's going to be like, they're going to want to again, from what I'm reading, it's supposed to be like a 5-year program. So of course they're not going to let all the cat out the bag. But I think they're going to try to just shut it. Hey, all I can do is say is now we're not alone. We can't go elaborate. But we're going to live in a world where they will elaborate. Because
they don't want to look like the bad guys either.
Yeah, I know. But they should rip the Band-Aid off. That's what I want. I don't want this.
No, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? But they can tell us how long or roughly. Well, I can tell at least during which presidency. I mean, did the forefathers know that they know in 1776 when they were signing the Declaration of Independence that they were, I want to know, the first government full body meeting about UFOs, and when it was collected, the Majestic 12 is, I think it's called, back in the early days. So
they probably changed their name since then.
Yes, again, maybe some members have died off. All right, so now we're gonna go to number 2 on mine, and again we'll do my list first and then yours, and I'm gonna say what I say. All right, so my number 2 question would be: Is there any arrangements that we have now that we know? I want to know. And again, this goes back to, are there soul contracts or things like that? Abductions. I think I put out a post on my Instagram page, which they're slowly shadow banning me. So if you're following me on Instagram and some of the posts are weird or you're not seeing them, go to my page. They're trying to say they independently fact check me. You know how they do. They've been doing that for people talking about Gaza, and stuff like that. You start to preach the truth, so it's okay. Right. But either way, it would be. Because any arrangements made, because, those soul contracts, they're saying one of the big meetings with, I believe that was the one I was talking about with Eisenhower, where things were arranged, where apparently how many kids are abducted every year in the U.S., worldwide? Look at that. So people talk about that. Those soul contracts is, them allowing them to
Is it part of their destiny? Or you're saying when it's soul contracts, is it something that they signed up for before they got here? Or the government just taking it to a whole nother...
Well, again, and I don't like to do fear. I know you don't want to do the fear thing. So, but I'm just saying this is allegedly.
But we have to be aware. We do have to bring awareness to this. That there's 2 sides to it, because there's a dark side of this.
There's a dark side. There it has been things, especially in like the Dose Wars, where it was an underground base where they fought. Where they say was a facility that was harnessing humans and stuff. Something about, again, our souls are containers. So again, I don't know the answers. I'm just asking the questions. Because now this is a post disclosure. We are not alone. I want to know what type of arrangements y'all got, and maybe it's not happening here with the government's like, all right, sure, you can take this many people, abduct this many people, but have it be in the third world countries. You know how many abductions happen in Brazil and things that we don't know about, the craziness?
that are
but your thoughts on that, the arrangements,
Well, I think there was something with the Eisenhower. They were saying that he had an agreement with the dark versions of the ETs that are out there. And that they could abduct certain humans, but there was supposed to be a record of the there was supposed to be a record kept of that.
Yeah, exactly. Certain ones, everybody that got abducted.
Like they were supposed to get all the names and the families and stuff like that to have record of it. But it seems like if that's what happened, it seems like it's probably gotten out of hand and there's nobody keeping record or whatever. But it was supposed to be in exchange for technology.
Yeah, I agree. I've heard that.
So that's that. But I do think that, our governments probably have something. They're doing some of the...
Yeah, exactly. But again, this is the avalanche that falls. You know, once you say, that's why I want this... to start out with this post because then the avalanche falls. Hey, you got more questions and whatnot,
Yeah, and these questions that you're asking, it's probably hard for humanity to hear. And to perceive and to actually absorb it in. It sounds science fiction and it sounds like, what the hell are you guys talking about? And okay, y'all have lost it. But these are valid questions. Moments ago, many probably didn't believe in UFOs or ETs or aliens. You know what I mean? So these questions that you're asking that you wanted us to bring to the show today are valid reasons why we do need to have these conversations, because it's not going to be a soft disclosure.
It ain't. And the world needs to get ready for this. That's why they're trying to do it slowly. But again, once you say those words, we are not alone, you have to understand the avalanche that comes behind it, y'all. So this is one. And again, UFO historians like Richard Dolan has written books about this post-disclosure. So I would advise y'all to check him out. He speaks on the History Channel all the time on ancient aliens and things, and read that book. He's saying he's going to write a new one now with all this evidence coming out. This is something serious, y'all, where you're going to have to talk to your families about. That's why I tell you, you got to sit down with your kids, discuss this stuff. This is where our government has failed us, because they don't do the educational
No.
thing, but hopefully this will be a start. But again, I'd like to know what they can disclose. But again, I know them, they'll probably say, hey, we're not alone. That's all we can say at this point. We can't go into any detail. Exactly. But again, the avalanche will start. All right. So then my third, and I'll leave it at 3. My third question would be, and I always talk about this on the show.
Okay.
What technologies have you guys engineered? And I want to know which have you given us, not just engineered for the army to keep using and hide and hoard and stuff. I want to know direct benefits of out of this alien technology and re-engineered technology. What have you give to benefit humanity, your American citizens or whatever? That's what I would want to know. Now, some of the things I did hear that has come out from, the Roswell crash, before that, what is it? Kevlar, the vest, the Kevlar.
What they use for NASA, Velcro.
Yeah, Velcro. What else?
Fiber optics.
Yeah, fiber optics. Yeah, but shit, we paying for all this shit. I mean, I get it. Yeah, that's nice for Verizon. They get the charges for fiber optics. Sure. But that too. Oh, and the computer chip too. The microchip. Yeah. The computer chip. Apparently, that was a big thing. Yep, holograms. But again, y'all, we want the good stuff. Look at your high-ass power bill. I want to know about what Dr. Gray and all them talking about where, a little coffee cup, that 0 point energy can, have every village in Africa have power, no power. It could boil, all the Earth's water. That is something tangible. That's what I keep harking to is, it would make it a little bit more easier. Hey, thank you. Like, hey, we've been lying to you. Aliens are real. But guess what? That's how you've had free power the last 10 years. Remember, you won't pay power all of... No. Power been going up. Gas been going up.
Everything.
Yeah, they get the technology and just hoard it. So, again, what do you think about that third question?
I think that, definitely, I think that's what it's about. I think that's the real reason why things are not coming out is because of technology. Yeah. And the races, when I say races, amongst the different countries.
Yeah, I agree.
Who can get ahead?
DOE too, Department of Energy. We're always talking about the Department of Defense. The DOE need to be held accountable because they help suppress a lot of this stuff too. They don't want this free energy stuff.
So I think that's what it boils down to is the technology behind it and money.
Yeah, power. Money, always money, power. People want to, but if I was a rich billionaire, I would want to help the people. If I was a king living in ancient Rome, it's always about the people. Because once everybody figure it out, it's just a few of us now, you, but wait till the masses start to be like, hold on.
When they start to wake up.
Yeah, Lachelle and the Good Brother makes sense. Hold on, these are our tax dollars, you know what I mean? And they ain't even giving none of this stuff to us. So again, that's why I just, the technology. How have we benefited? Not... the military technology and, that's all. I just want to know, what have you done for mankind? We're still paying high gas bills, utility bills and whatnot. And basically they have
humanity stuck.
Yeah, they're keeping us dumb, deaf, and blind, like the 5%, as you just said.
Voiceless.
Yes, I would never think that our government, I would always think they would want us to advance. Soon as something hot drops, hey, let's give this to the people. But no, what I'm coming to find out is how can we make money off it?
Yeah, a lot of humanity, I'm not going to say a lot of humanity, those that are pulling the strings are not working out of their hearts.
No. Even with these patents, I had to do my research on, I watched a good episode of The Y-Files, which is another good YouTube I watch, where they talk about how, people with good patents that can help, citizens with this free water, free, end up getting killed off. And we talked about that, briefly. Or they can snatch your patent. Say if your patent is something that they deem is a national security thing, they can just snatch it. Under that. Exactly. And they take it. So again, it's the rabbit hole goes deep. Yes. These are my question, but I want to take up all the time, so I want to get to you. That was my 3, and I'll just reiterate, it was, how long, what arrangements, and what technologies, would you give to the people?
Well, my questions actually piggyback off of your questions.
Okay. I figure we might have some similarities, but it's okay.
It will. Okay. A little tad bit more deeper.
Okay.
So the first question I had was those that have been locked up or unalived and are put away in facilities because they want to say that they're mentally ill or something like that, for speaking out. Will they be released? Those that took part in these unaliving these individuals, will they be held accountable?
Okay.
And will cases reopen for those who've spoken out about UFOs and ET races and things like that? I think that these families that have undergo like bullying and intimidation, they should be held accountable. That those families should, their voices should be heard.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
I mean, it's a two-part. So you're saying, just so I want to make sure I hear you clearly, though, you're saying people that have unalived others.
Yeah, for speaking out. For instance, you have those who say they've seen something classified. It was classified.
Okay.
And they were gonna come forward to the to humanity.
Yes.
That they were allowed, and then somehow they committed suicide.
Died mysteriously. Got you. Those that are gonna be held accountable for those, the people that called the shots on that. But and the only problem is we don't know who the shot callers were during those times, and some of them might have been older entities. Again, talking about the Majestic 12 or 6, however many is. But you're right. I think those people should be held accountable
because we can't forget about them.
Yeah, but I know. But I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Honestly, what I think, and this has been spoken on, they're gonna be granted immunity. It's all gonna be. It's just like, remember, to give you an example, like the Rwanda crisis in Africa, to bring up something like the atrocities and all that. A lot of times, just to get back to normalcy, a lot of those evil African warlords are just held granted immunity.
Okay, so they want to keep it in the world and make it go away.
Just to get to the greater, you know what I mean? Just to bring it to this UFO talk, and I get what you're saying, good conversation, but I know them. It ain't gonna be like, hey, you killed. They're not gonna be able to go back in the past and stuff and read. It'll be like, hey, what was done in the past is the past. Moving forward, if you come forward, just like in this legislation, the UAP Disclosure Act is like, hey, just come forward with the evidence, what you got, and so I think it's being more. But you're asking good questions because I would want them. Me personally, I would want those people to be held accountable.
Yes,
so yes,
absolutely. So another question I had was, our tax money.
Yes,
in the education system. So will the government use our tax dollars to invest in educating humanity on spirituality, so they can remove the prejudices and the judgments that go along with people who this is a way of life for them, and to remove the fear factor and the woo factor of it all. I think there should be something where this is implemented into our education system.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. And this brings me up to, it depends on who the disclosure president is. So let's look at the two people we have in office. One, this is when it comes down to voting on policies and not the person. Because and this is my biggest fear, us in the UFO community, and again with Trump and the recent situation that happened with him, I'm not even going there, but only thing I will say is Trump was in office. He's had these briefings and he did nothing with it. He said it himself. He's talked to pilots, looked like Tom Cruise, educated.
But I don't think he said he believed in it.
Yeah, he said he did not. He said he didn't believe him. He said, they told me that, but no, I don't believe him. And I know why he said that. He's not going to be for disclosure.
Yes.
So with that being said, to lead me to your point, though, as far as the question where you were like, if they would be
investing into
I'm gonna tell you why.
So?
No, because if Trump is the president, no, they're gonna the Project 2025 is gonna be about angels and demons. You think they want spirituality in our classrooms? They want 10 commandments. What you're talking about is blasphemous, and you know this, good sister. That spirituality and Christianity ain't going hand. So I know what you're saying in that ideal world. That's what I'm saying. It comes down to who's
you don't want to be controversial, right?
I know. Right, I'm sorry. I get do it. Hey, we in season 2. We don't give a fuck.
Where do you guys think religion really came from?
I know. You're right. But this is things. It depends on who's putting the policy, and that's what I'm saying. I could see if Biden and the Democrats are in office and it gets put. Then the spirituality can come in. I get it. It'll be a lot, but then the Republicans will be.
But this is the thing.
I'm sorry. I don't want to make it political.
I know, but in all honesty, you cannot come forward, whether it's hard disclosure or soft disclosure, and you bring it to humanity about UFOs and ETs without bringing in spirituality. You just can't.
I get it.
You can't. It goes with spirit. The disclosure has energy, the energy aspect of it, the spirituality aspect of it, the quantum field aspect of it. So you can't.
That's what I keep saying. It's so many pieces to it. It's a Akashic reverie. It's spirituality. It's all, but the UFO is the missing piece. That's what. So it's the biggest piece of the puzzle. So I get what you're saying, spirituality, but that's your aspect. So what the Muslims gonna say? How do they feel about UFOs and spirituality? How does the Christians feel? How does the Jewish?
This is why we should be investing our tax dollars into this topic, so that everybody can come together
I agree.
and have a common ground. Now, we may not agree on everything,
Right.
you know, because we're all different.
Okay.
But I think that's worth.
I'm with you. I love it. I don't want you. I'm not coming. That's what my first answer was. Depends on who's in office. You know, certain people gonna fund all about the spirituality. So they're like, what? They're gonna put that King James version by. That's your spirituality. The UFOs are from God. Jesus wasn't. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What's your third question?
But my third question actually ties into the second question, which is incorporating spirituality, mindfulness, and meditation into the classroom.
Oh, yes. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, I think that we don't need UFO disclosure for that. Yep. I think that's something, I mean, look, you know, our kids, our kids are suffering, humanity is suffering.
Yep.
And I think mindfulness and meditation, if we're incorporating those into classrooms, you know, for the teachers too, because everybody is so stressed,
I agree.
you know, and suffering in some way, or maybe you're not suffering. If you're not, please leave a comment for us and let us know what you're doing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because we're not here to suffer, but you know everything that's going on in within around the world. I don't see why. And I know other countries, I think Japan does that.
Yeah, I think that would be good. I mean, even outside of disclosure, they should start that now.
Yeah.
Like, imagine in kindergarten if we did to have that, like a 10-minute meditation as one and stuff and get it. I'd be up to an hour meditation by now if we start. And a lot of people don't work on practicing muscles like that. But I don't think we need disclosure for that. I think it should be implemented because it's power in that consciousness. That's going to tap into it. So I think disclosure is going to help us
move along.
I get what you're saying. Invest more in that. That's if they're honest about it, though. The power, you got to think. We're starting with, are we alone? They might not even address that follow-up. We're going to look. Hey, the question from Lachelle in the back. Okay, what about consciousness and how we... Lachelle, we can't get there yet. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? I know what you're saying, though, and you're making good points where you're doing it from the foundation. Yeah, from the kids. You want to start in the classroom with meditation.
And it starts with the kids.
It does. That's one. Dog, I want to start reaching the kids. I can't curse in this, but I'm going to do some kid-friendly ones, I think, where you can sit and really watch something about UFOs, like educational things for ages, kids maybe 10 and up or something. Because the kids are out in the field. They've been playing this. Been
Starseeds.
Starseeds, things of that nature. So you're right. It starts with maybe that's what I need to start doing. Fuck these old fuddy-duddies and trying to move senators. We need to just work on the youth now. I start with my kids and maybe this generation. Because these are going to be the ones fighting these future wars. It comes down to them.
It's the starseeds and the younger souls that are incarnating right now that will be the change.
Yeah, exactly, to bring about. I was talking about that on my boy Brandon's show that, the kids are the future. They're going to have to fight these wars. Me and you, Michelle, we're in our 40s. We've lived a relatively lovely life. It's been peaceful. We've had, electricity. We ain't had to live like some of these people in these third world countries. So, not to operate on fear, but my biggest fear is that, my kids will have to fight these future wars that the government is saying. That's when people say, hey, I ain't into politics, it ain't my thing. Yes, politics affects you, whether you want to be into politics or not, because, this is a big election coming up.
Goes hand in hand with you waking up every day.
There you go. And our kids think of the children. Yeah. So, gotcha. Anything else as far as that?
No. So, to piggyback on what you were talking about, the kids. So I had channeled something last week, and I think I might have shared that with you, where I met a starseed. It was actually a lot of starseed children.
No, please do share.
And the reason why she's here now, she comes from a higher dimension.
Okay.
And she's creative, like extreme, and she's autistic. Well, they say that she has autism, but
a lot of autistic.
That's what she was told.
Powers.
Right. So she asked me if I could look into her soul origins, and I had to get permission from her mom because she is under 18.
Okay.
And one of the things I found out, and let me tell you, this is just so fascinating for me, because when I channeled the information, I was kind of like blown away. Because I was analyzing the information that was coming in. Really, you need to just be in a state of flow and just trust what comes in. And one of the things that they told me, what her spiritual team told me, was that she was a part of a collective called the Exilers.
Okay, yes, I remember. Okay,
yeah,
I like that word.
Exile. Yeah, so she's here. That group that's incarnated here are here to eradicate, exile the lower vibrational energies that are here, that are plaguing and causing chaos in our systems, that don't want to go, that's stubborn.
Gotcha.
That's causing a lot of ill will around the world.
Okay.
And so I just found that, and I wanted to share that because it ties into, we have help. You know, they're incarnating here from all over the cosmos to help humanity. And I'm sure those of you that are looking at this video right now know a child, or you may have a child that you see the light, and then you see that they have, special, they have a mission and a purpose, and they may feel different, or they are having a hard time feeling accepted. And there's plenty of kids out there like that.
Yeah.
And so those kids too will be a part of disclosure.
Yes, they are. They're going to be the ones that lead us into the future. And listen to the kids. Some of these kids are in tune. I was going through things as a kid, and again, when I had my episode, I was going to talk to my mom. I mean, she did the best that she could when I told her, you know, hey, I saw a UFO. Oh, that ain't nothing. We got a lot of planes that's flying. And then when I had, you know, the sleep paralysis, you know, something hold me down. Topic. And then our parents, old school, what? That's a witch riding your back and things.
Or don't eat before you go to sleep.
Yes, but even with our grandmas and stuff, and, you know, bless my grandmother's heart, she just recently passed, but they'll tell you, you know, they know it's things spiritual out there. You know, your grandmothers will say, hey, don't talk like that. You don't know what's there. They be spirit. They might not tie into UFOs, but they know there are things that operate in the dark.
Yes.
So it's good to hear, like you said, I know you're not big on fear, but through that story, I see that you have people that's fighting for us. Even if we don't see entities,
they are, you guys. They are,
us.
absolutely.
So that is good. That gives me hope. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Okay. So moving right along, now I want to get into the other thing that is a big divide in the UFO community. And I want to get into this, y'all. That word is eminent domain. Okay. Now, what that means is, and you might have been watching, I've been watching YouTube and different things, and depending on who you talk to, one of the people I follow, lawyer Danny Sheehan, who represents a lot of whistleblowers like Lou Elizondo, he's for eminent domain. But then there are other people out there, I believe Brandon Fugel, who runs Skinwalker Ranch, he was just on the show Vetted, where he's against eminent domain. And this is a big thing, and this is in this UAP Disclosure Act where Chuck Schumer is putting it back on the table. It was in there at first and it got taken out.
Okay.
So this is where we're gonna have to make a decision. You're gonna have to either be for or against eminent domain. And again, even the UFO community, we aren't united on everything, y'all. I think even when post-disclosure happens, it's certain things like this, like we gotta make decisions on. So I don't think everything's unified. So I'm going to state my opinion first, because I know the world wants to know how I feel about it. So where I am at on eminent domain, and whether the government, for one, I'm going to say yes, I am for eminent domain. And I'm going to give you the why behind it. Because again, there are people that I like, you know, Professor Gary Nolan, who has UFO or material where he's open about it. He's transparent. He shows the research he's doing. So, you know, I understand they might be brushed up in that. Like, say the government has to get all material. But from what I'm hearing, and I didn't read through this full UAP Disclosure 2.0, they're not coming for the Dr. Gary Nolans and things like that, people that's being honest and transparent. They want the, you know, the Lockheed and Martins, the people that have real nuts and full craft, intact, corporations and things of that nature, where, you know, and again, people will fight back eminent domain. Who's repossessing it? Who we giving it? The government? They've been hiding it. They've been lying anyway. They're going to lock it up even tighter. No, again, there's supposed to be boards of reviews, people that we trust, like the Grushes, you know, and, you know, even Greer's, Dr. Greer's, and people that, you know, are for disclosure that's going to be on these review boards, making sure the right, you know, crafts are being taken and stuff. So let me say, and I'm about to pass to y'all, but I want to say I am for eminent domain. Let me give you the biggest reason why we need it, because you need subpoena power. These people have held on to this information forever, and they're not doing anything with it. Now, I will say, let me give you a quick solution, though, because I ain't all about, you know, like I tell my kids, hey, give me 2 solutions for every problem. Maybe with transparency and disclosure, they don't have to really take on the eminent domain and come snatch it from the Lockheed and Martin. Hear me out. This is a solution. Because if you're being transparent, just open it up to the world scientists. You know, I understand you got to operate over national security. We don't want our enemies in. But that's the problem. And what I'm hearing, the Lockheed and Martins is so enclosed, they can't even figure out what they want on the craft. So maybe if you're more transparency and honest, you're just bringing people in where you don't got to release the craft. Like, hey, come get it. Let's open. You know, I'm just giving solutions. But That's why I'm giving you the why I'm for eminent domain. Because we just got to make it a hard, just to get to the nooks and crannies, subpoena power. We can't play favorites sometime where, hey, we like Dr. Gary Nolan. He's been, don't take, say if you got to take it all, got Dr. Gary Nolan, and again, I'm a fan of yours, just take the heat. You know what? Take my material. They'll probably call me in to work back on it or whatever. Sometimes just for the greater good of, being honest and transparency, take it all if need be.
Well, I do want to say, I think you have to break it down with eminent domain.
Yep. Okay.
I think you need to break it down for the audience.
Okay.
I guess in layman's terms, as you would say, what it is.
Okay, so what it is the government has the right, just like I would say if a UFO flew crashed in my backyard today. That's the best of how Danny Sheehan explains, the lawyer. The government already has eminent domain anyway. It's not like the UFO crash and I can say,
is
hey,
that breach? When you say eminent domain, is that they have access?
Yes, it's already.
Access.
Yes, it's already. Government already has eminent domain when they can come do anything. They can come take a project.
Well, they do that now, don't
yes,
they?
exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's already. They can build an interstate right here because of the eminent domain. Yeah, or the land.
I've seen that happen in Virginia Beach.
Yeah, exactly. Things like that. Or another term, it's not the same. Remember when, they were coming taking land from the Indian Native American. What did they say? Manifest destiny. You see what I'm saying? So eminent domain is basically anything that's national security. They can tie that in and come get it in it. So they already have that power. You see what I'm saying?
So is that why you say yes?
I'm just saying yes if they're taking it from they need that to basically repossess it back from the Lockheed and Martin. Just to give you an example. Say they gave it to them originally. The government had the crash retrieval program, gave it to them, work on this. But now some of these aerospace companies are feeling like they own it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, no, we've been working on this you can't just come. So it's a battle for it. That's why Dr. Greer is saying we need special forces to come in. This is where the rubber's going to meet the road. Like either they got subpoena power to go get the craft, repossess it, get it in the right hands, you see what I'm saying, or they don't.
This is so tricky.
It is. It is.
This is very, very tricky because I feel like they already have access to a lot of things, and even if you say no, they can still get access to a lot of things. I think that's why you have the Snowdens who left the country.
Yeah.
So this is just so tricky.
It's a big thing though. That's why. But hear me out. That's why it was taken out of the first UAP Disclosure Act, that was the big sticking point. And I know why Chuck Schumer did it, because that puts the aerospace company, they hear eminent domain and they shit their pants. Without it, it's like, it's empty threat. So you gotta have it in there. I mean.
So it's about basically those who own these objects or this technology, hoarding it and keeping it hostage and not releasing it.
Not releasing. The government is saying where eminent domains mean they have the right to come and snatch it back from the Lockheed.
I believe in it.
They're not going
Absolutely.
to. Okay.
Yes, I do feel that, because how did they get it in the first place? The government hired you.
Yeah, they did it.
So, or contracted you.
But what's happening now, some of these...
Unless they are back engineering it and they're creating something totally different.
They are. They're patenting it for themselves. You see what I'm saying? It's not for us. That's the thing. They're holding the Lockheed and Martin. Now, I've heard two things. I've heard the Lockheed, and they're just one of the biggest aerospace companies. They get the Boeing, but even Bowman, it's a lot of other aerospace companies. But from what I'm hearing, they want to release it. They're like, hey, we worked on it for years behind the scenes. We want to give it back to y'all.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So that's
lovely.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If we're really in disclosure and transparency, if they're just giving it back or just opening it up to us, they don't got to give it away.
It's so old and outdated that we probably can have it because they didn't move on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, exactly. Or they done got the technology. So it's a tricky thing, but at the end we got to be for it, and I know why it's put in there, and I can see the pushback. But either way, they got eminent domain anyway. They're just.
But this is the reason why, you guys, why disclosure is needed. The fact that we're having this conversation right now about certain companies that have this technology, and they probably have their own teams that actually there's probably scouts.
Yeah, crash retrieval teams. JSOP.
Yeah.
It's different 4-letter organizations we don't even know the name of. These are crash retrieval teams, Navy SEAL type teams.
This is huge. And why disclosure, like I said, start off saying why disclosure is needed, but also so that humanity is aware of what's going on behind, you see the celebrity divorces and makeups and breakups. Okay, whatever, there's other stuff that we need to be talking about, you guys, other than who is twerking and all, and that, and no offense to entertainment. Trust me, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but what I'm saying is there is just so much going on that we do need to bring to the forefront, in at the table.
Thank you.
Talk about.
And again, even in our last video, what did I say? We had a presidential debate come up, right?
Yeah.
These two old funny. Did UAP disclosure or re-engineered technology come up once? It hasn't been mentioned. It's sad. These are possibly, not to get political, but this is where we're at. These are possibly our two disclosure president. Trump, who's already had the briefing, who knows, who just ain't gonna disclose it, and then Biden.
Do you think it's fear?
Yeah, I've heard that. I know Ross Cohart had said this. Other people that George Knapp had said that he's been briefed.
And they don't want to lose their base.
No, man, listen, I can go on the record and say this. Trump is not for disclosure. The UFO community, we already know he's been briefed. And think about it, Lachelle. This will win you over. These aerospace companies will write check a Trump. Write him a check so big. Exactly. They do. And don't get me wrong, even Chuck Schumer, who's writing this legislation, all the senators and Congress, they get funding from these aerospace companies. This is the problem, y'all. These are the biggest lobbyists. Y'all think the NRA, they're powerful, y'all. They have the technology. The Department of Defense, NORAD, they help keep us safe in the middle of a war. So we have to proceed. Like World War II, and I know you're not big on the fear, but that's around the corner. We got this technology around. We got AI technology. It's a lot of things happening, y'all, in real time.
Yeah.
Well, we need to get on the same channel. And again, none of this is being discussed. You mean to tell me we're in the middle of a presidential election, and we got 0 point energy and all this technology.
And not being shared or talked about.
Not being shared. They ain't bringing it up.
Least bit.
They're talking about golfing. They want to challenge each other in a golfing match. So that's where we're at with it. So, that's what so just to have you on the record. So you are, and I don't want to coerce you, are you for
I cannot be coerced.
Yes, you cannot. You're your own person.
Yes. Well,
but I get the trepidation having them coming to seize everything because it's the same government that's been lying to us anyway. So this is the people we're trusting. But again, it's going to be a board of directors.
Any technologies that were that was outsourced for back engineering, for research and development, for anything where you're just trying to figure out where the hell it came from, why is it here? I think all of that should be given back to the government and should be made aware of. The humanity should be. I don't feel the national security. I mean, you can only say that, but so much for me personally.
Wars have been fought, but that's the golden word. I know you can only say it so much, but Lachelle, that's what they say. Why it's still a secret now? Because
they say that because once you say it, you got to shut up.
Shut up. Exactly. No more.
It just puts a stamp on it, time stamp on it.
Thank you.
And you can't move forward within it. It's like it's. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but it's an excuse to not have to move forward. Yeah. But I do think that the government should have access to this information. It wasn't y'all's to begin with.
Yeah. The government and the people.
Right. It wasn't humanities to begin with. You know. So, and for the biological, what they call it, non-biologics?
Yeah, non-biological.
Yeah, like I'm interested in knowing about that.
Non-biologic intelligence. You notice all these fancy words. Instead of saying aliens, non-human
or
intelligence.
Or just say not human.
Yeah,
Keep
exactly.
it simple.
But instead of saying UFOs, they're trying to get you ready. This is part of the slow disclosure. This is part of
or soft.
Yes.
I call it soft disclosure.
Yep, I got you. I'm with the hard. I want to rip the
I know, a lot of us
I want it all. Exactly. People are going to lose their shit. It is a destabilizing factor, but
I'm concerned. I will say I am concerned because I know when I have these conversations with certain members of my family, some are receptive and some are like, you can feel the energy off of them, but they feel uncomfortable with it, like totally uncomfortable. And I can feel that I'm going in a direction where it makes me uncomfortable for them. So I understand why they're doing it this way because you have we talk about this all the time, the religious aspect of it. I mean, religion it's a huge moneymaker.
I know. That's a whole episode within itself. Religion. I know,
and I'm not knocking it. You guys
we need to do one. That might be a future episode. Just religion, UFOs, and stuff.
Yeah, and it's a huge aspect of everybody's being and living and in how they incorporate into their daily lives, and to find out that there's more than just Jesus and Buddha
or Allah.
Or Allah. There's goodness, you guys, you just have no idea.
But what's gonna happen is gonna get hijacked by some. I can see it now. What trust once, depending on number, and I'm mark the calendars now. I'm saying it on this date. Say if we have certain people in office, let's say the Project 2020, you're not gonna. And this is why
Project 2025.
5 people, yeah, the Project 2025 people, if they're in office and this.
And you guys probably should be looking that up too.
Yes, exactly. Do your research. Imagine now. That's why us in the UFO field we fear that because we know it's gonna get hijacked. Something I've worked years on. The scientific process of it is going to be eliminated. It's just going to, turn into angels and demons. And even on my boys' podcast,
but we have angels and demons.
Yeah, it could be.
We have angels and demons, but we also have light beings, and you have ETs. It's different. And Stephen Greer talks about this too.
Yep. Okay.
That you have interdimensional beings. So you have the angels, you have the demons, you have the all in between, and the ETs that have nothing to do with the demons. So in the angels, that's what I said. Spirituality goes with this.
The rabbit hole goes deep. And again, the UFOs is the centerpiece. Again, the world is a puzzle. It's everything. But then that's the missing link, which is the down. That's why, again, it starts with we are not alone. So we shall see on that date. Again, we'll see what they say. I doubt they elaborate. It'll just be we're not alone. We can't go into any details. Or when they do give us disclosure, how far. Yeah, I doubt the president's just going to sit up there and I'll answer any questions. It's not going to be that type of scenario.
So do you really think on October 18th that humanity is going to get the full truth or maybe 20% of the truth? Like, what is the percentage of what you think?
Good question.
Because I'm curious to know.
Yes, this is, and let me say this, y'all, and people have messaged me, hey, you act like they're just going to give all the secrets. I doubt it. But I'm going to tell you why I'm going to continue to raise awareness for this date, to hold them accountable. Right. Because if we just blow it off and be like, they ain't going to give us nothing anyway, that's where they want it. Yep, you're right. We ain't going to give you shit. No, I'm making them skeptical. Now is the time, October, because even say if they give us nothing, it's between October 18th and the 20th, right? The reason why I'll make a spectacle of it, because if they give us nothing, we're supposed to get everything that's 25 years or older. That is not a national security threat.
25 years.
Or older. But again, they still have the right to say, no, this is that word again, national security, we can't release this. But they're supposed to, again, Danny Sheehan.
So be expecting, in other words, to hear that.
Yes, but apparently they're supposed to be releasing things like Roswell. They're supposed to release pictures of crafts, shit like that, of the shit that's intact. I've read on this. So you're supposed to see hey, this is a possible picture of a UFO. We're supposed to all the old UFOs that they have. So again, on this date, so we have to hold them accountable, y'all. And I will say, on this date, say they don't give us nothing, they lie again. Then what do we do? Is it time yet for the people to march?
That's why the people have to come together.
Thank you.
And when I said earlier that these corporations have power, humanity, you're more powerful, especially when we come together.
Ooh, I gotta do my poetry snapping right now.
Yeah, if we all come together, one voice in a group of voices is a collective. Can you guys imagine?
No.
You know what I mean? It's like choiring, singing aloud in tune, as one and coming together, because you can't shut everybody up. But the problem is, if there's so much separation going on, that's how the power, they stay in power, in other words, because of the separation. So if we come together in our voices and we speak up and don't let this die down. So the fact that we're having this show and there's other people that are also speaking on this on a continuous basis, don't slow up.
What you're trying to say is don't get distracted.
Yes,
There's
definitely
always
don't get distracted.
This is the biggest story. What I want to say before we start to wrap up and stuff and wind down is, one thing I don't want anybody to ever put in the comment on I will go ape shit is this a distraction. Motherfucker, there ain't no other bigger distraction. Everything else is a distraction from this, y'all. You have to, there's always going to be war. There's always going to be presidential debates. God forbid what happened to Trump. I'm glad he's alive. I don't wish death on nobody. There are always going to be something bigger. We need to start holding them accountable for this. We need to start marching for this. There's a presidential debate going on right now, and they not even ask about this. This is the biggest thing ever. So again, if y'all don't bring it up, they ain't gonna talk about it. They don't want us. So that's why I'm gonna keep speaking on it. And I'm glad you're here. We're bringing awareness. We're talking to our family. You are waking up out there. I see by the questions and the comments, People are, congrats, even at work, I'm walking through, hey, good brother, watching you. My wife loves it. For every family, you talk to your family member. I bet you if you talk to 10 people in your family, 2 of them have probably seen a UFO or got a story. One out of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it's not UFO related, it's paranormal. Like somebody, somebody's experienced something and they just don't feel comfortable coming forward. Yeah. But we have to make this topic, it's our norm. We got to make you feel comfortable disclosing it and talking about it, and not making it be the woo-woo factor, as I said earlier, when we were talking, just so that we can just get beyond that and get to the hardcore stuff, you guys, where it's free energy out there, the healthcare system, having, access to healthcare where we're not spending thousands of dollars just to get better, and taking all this medicine that they be making that's man-made, a lot of us right now, we're taking, or we need, because we think that there's nothing else out there that we could take that is holistic. Or they're putting restrictions on farmers and those who are growing their own things that help you heal the body, but they are trying to basically burn your stuff down so that you don't utilize
Imagine that. Wow.
I know. So that's why it's so important for humanity to come together and talk about it, because it's more. It's not just about UFOs and ETs, you guys. It's about the technology and that goes with it. And the technology is something that we probably can't even imagine, but I want you to imagine.
Thank you. Like, what are they not telling? What are they keeping? What are they hoarding? They're using our hard-earned tax dollars.
Yes, don't you want to know where your money going?
Don't you want to know? You have a right to know. I know, every time I pay my power bill, I'm ready to sit down and do a new video every time. So that's why I appreciate her coming on, and every time, you already know. Go ahead, shout out your links and how you can reach.
So your producer's probably going to put that
she's going to put it in the thing. We don't got to name it, but follow her at the places.
Yes, absolutely. Check out Jaded Illusions. It's an illusion to think of self, okay? And so if you have any, and the reason why I want people to check out my pages, because I have channel messages and downloads that I get, and they're universal messages. So you might be feeling isolated. I know for me, going through my spiritual journey and transitioning, I share a lot of that on my pages. So check that out. I'm pretty sure you're going to find something out there that will resonate with you in your transition.
Yes, I love it. And again, we're going to get into some of those hypnosis videos. We are. And as far as me, y'all know my message, y'all, is I want UAP disclosure, UFO disclosure and transparency. It's just time to be honest with the American people. We're not alone. Be honest with the world, not just America. Let's unite us, y'all. And I'm going to keep fighting a good fight. And I got some bombshells coming I cannot speak on, but just know the Good Brother is going to be moving this disclosure conversation along. Again, they want to give us slow disclosure. I think I'm going for catastrophic.
Yeah, you are.
So just wait. Yeah, I got some things I can't speak on yet, but it's been another great episode of Area 757 TV, and you're going to see a lot of this young lady. You'll see a lot of me. I also got other interviews coming up. I got people. I'm going to bring some non-believers up here. I'm going to try to convince. Yes. So trust me, I'm going to get some non-believers up here too, but you'll see a lot of this young lady. Follow her on the TikToks and everything. My boy's going to put it in the link. Shout out to Blast Radius Production too, filming this. That's my boy holding it down, the editing. Y'all see the new intros and stuff. We're doing big things, all right? So you're going to keep seeing small upgrades. I'm going to keep pushing this message. Follow me on my IG and stuff. Again, they trying to shadow ban your boy. Don't worry about it. Be on the lookout. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing an Area 757 TV page. So I'm gonna do a backup page at YouTube and an Instagram just to be on the safe side.
I want to add something before you shut
up. Go ahead, please. I love this. I love it when she adds. Go ahead.
When you have people speaking truth.
Yeah.
All right. That means that they're speaking things that they don't want you guys to know. You have dark energy that's working the algorithms. Why do you think it's called shadow banning?
Yep. Facts.
And so it happens to me all the time.
Yep.
And I'm okay with it because I know the light eventually it's working.
Exactly.
And it's going to get to where it needs to get to. And the dark only is, you guys are on borrowed time right now, and they know that.
They're trying
so this is for those who are out there who are speaking light, that are pushing messages for humanity to wake up. Please do not, I want you to know that your messages are not falling on deaf ears, to keep going and keep pushing, because we need to bring awareness to this.
And I'm not pushing hate or killing. I just, things I get some alert on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
But I've heard even people, just talking about the stuff going on in Gaza and stuff, and
Yeah.
they'll get shadow banned and say you were checked by an independent fact checker. And that was something I posted, not even for me. It was in the story mode from the
That's
paranormal
the
chick.
algorithms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was something about something being seen like a ship on the Alaskan. Their camera, but it's weird, but it doesn't matter, y'all. Y'all know
So
what
keep going. In
keep
other
going,
words.
yes. Y'all know where I'm at. Area 757 TV, the Good Brother YouTube. You'll see me on everything TikTok. You'll see this young lady, and we're gonna keep it going, y'all. It's a lot of big things coming up, so stay tuned to this channel. We are not so y'all see these videos. You get new video like twice a week, 3 times. So we're gonna keep it going, y'all. And it's just a pleasure working with her.
Thank you.
Yeah, got you.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Peace.